Hello, my name is Frederica, and I'm the host of Win Women of Business, and I'm here today with my good friend Roxy. Hey, Roxy, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
I am fine. It's so great to have you in the house. So today I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Roxy from Rockin' Her Jewelry. She is a friend, and I can't wait to tell you guys all the great things about this woman. She is not only a mother and a wife, but she is a woman's woman. What does that mean? That means that this woman here, you guys, she is the kind of woman that every woman wants to be like. Let me tell you why. She is genuine, she is compassionate, and she is the epitome of love. I love you, Roxy.
I love you too.
Yes, so thank you so much for being on the show today. Our title today is Fighting Through the Smoke Storm. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But before we start, I just want to say, want to have you just share a little bit about yourself. And we're going to actually start with your business. So tell me, Rockin' Her Jewelry. By the way, that name just rocks. So tell me, how did you even come up with that name?
So many years ago, probably about maybe 30 years ago, I was selling jewelry out the trunk of my car, just, going to the neighbor's house and so on and so forth. I hadn't had a business name at first. So me and my daughters, I have two daughters, and we sat in at the kitchen table and just brainstormed some names. So by my name being Roxanne and people calling me Rock, we just said Rockin' Her Jewelry, because Rock and her jewelry, or you can rock her jewelry. So
it is just awesome. So you said many years ago, and me and you kind of share similar stories in the sense that, we kind of done different things to kind of get ourselves established. So I'm gonna let you tell me a little bit about that. I know where you're currently located at on White Horse Road. So tell us kind of what was your journey? How did you get there?
I've always liked to sell things, make things, have my own business. But when I was younger with the two kids, that was a far-fetched in that time, in that era. So I worked at Target, I worked at UPS, raising my two girls. As they got older, I chose a business at the flea market. It was just a table at first, maybe 20 years ago. And I used to just make stuff and use stuff they couldn't use anymore, just stuff. And it just turned into, I had that table for about 5 years. Then I moved in the inside table, and I had that for about 3 years. And I got the store that I'm in right now. And I've been in that store for about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So just climbing the ladder. That's how I did it. I didn't just wake up one day.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think you just did it. I think it was like a lot of hard work. You put a lot of time, a lot of effort. I've talked to you before, and you've shared that with me. And that's one of the things that I love so much about you. But yeah, you have really, really, if you guys have not seen her store, Roxy, tell us where it's located, how they can find you, on social media and things like that.
It's 2710 White Horse Road. It's the White Horse Road Flea Market building. 318 is right by the strip mall. It's not in the actual flea market. The flea market has a strip mall where they have like a Mexican restaurant, so on and so forth. My building is right beside it, and it's the actual building that you can come into. It's not like the tables, but it's 318. So if you come from the strip mall side and you come straight in that entrance door, I'm 4 stores down on the left.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Roxy, the title again is Fighting Through the Smoke Screen. You and I had an opportunity to talk a little bit off screen, and we were talking, and you corrected me, and I thank you so much, because I was telling you one of the reasons I love you is because you're so genuine and how you're just so compassionate and you see other people. And one of the things I've always noted about you is you really want to make sure that people are thriving and they're successful. And so I was mistaken, and I was thinking, sometimes people just don't care enough about other people. Society tells us we have to focus on ourselves, and the thing I love most about you is that you go out your way to make sure that people are encouraged and motivated. And you said, I don't think that's so. You said, I think that people are not just selfish. Sometimes they're just afraid. So I'm going to let you speak a little bit on that, Roxy.
Yes, I don't think people are just out to hate or out to just do anything hateful or mean. I think they're just afraid of the economy, afraid of helping someone else, and that's going to put them 2 or 3 steps behind. People are afraid to reach out to help people because people are not helping back. People don't do that like they used to do in the 60s and 70s, the times where I was born in 1971. So neighbors were helping each other and people were doing things for each other. So that's the era I was raised in. Right now, it's not like that. We're living in a different world, so they think if they give you a couple of dollars or if they give you some ideas, then they've given you what they can use, but it really doesn't go like that. The more you help people, the more God is going to help you.
Exactly. And that's exactly how we met, as a matter of fact. So I met Roxy when her cousin was getting married. Her cousin's Nivea. Nivea is no longer with us, but let me tell you, she was very, very sweet, very, very genuine, just like her cousin. And I was thinking on the ride in, Roxy, I said, you know what? I bet you Nivea is up in heaven smiling down on us like, look at them. Look at both of them, because she was a giver. And like I said, that's how I met Roxy. She was getting married. We went to her house to get alterations done. While we were there, I was just in awe because she's just a creative person, and she had fabrics and she had all kind of little things, and I was all in her stuff, like touching on stuff. She had baskets, and I told her, I said, Roxy, I like to do baskets. And she was just like, girl, you can do it. And then so we were looking for donations. My pastor had just started a church, and they were helping kids in the community, and we were trying to do a raffle and giveaway, and Roxy was just like, I would be here Friday. And so I went Friday. I picked the most beautiful baskets up. They were so very well done, very, very professional. I picked these baskets up, and that wasn't the end of it. And I was just like, oh, just so appreciative. But not only was I appreciative, I was just like in awe. And she was like, again, girl, you can do it. And if you want to do it, I'm gonna show you how to do it. And then she invited me to her shop. And she said, you can just set up right out front. Anytime you want to, just come on down. And so she allowed me to sit out there, and she kind of coached me through the day. I promise you guys, I did not have the confidence. And I was telling Roxy earlier, I said, Roxy, you know what I want to be? I said, I want to be like you. I want to be a butterfly healer, because I know I'm a butterfly, you guys. But sometimes even butterflies do. They go in their little cocoon, they take opportunity to heal, and sometimes they need somebody like the Roxys in the world to just love on them just a little bit, show a little bit of faith in them, and then so they can go back out and fly. So I really appreciate that from you, Roxy. You have no clue how much that means, but that's just one of the stories that I have about Roxy, you guys. And I'm going to encourage you guys, if you haven't already done a shout out, go ahead and write in the comment section. Let Roxy know. I'm sure all y'all have some Roxy stories. Because my thing is, we need to start patting each other on the back. We need to start appreciating each other while we're here on this earth, and stop waiting to the end. So, Roxy, is there anything you'd like to add to that? You remember that day, that story?
I do remember that day, and I run across a lot of women that have broken wings, that you know, butterflies, that are beautiful women that just go through storms like all us women. And I just reach out to everyone that I can, or everyone that I can speak with, because of course I can't reach out to everyone, but if you come across someone that needs an encouraging word or needs uplifting, words of encouragement, you should do that. That's your opportunity to show God, who God is. So I do that. I love on women, because and make sure
it's really ministry, like just helping other people. That is the ministry. A lot of times we think we have to be in the church. In my opinion, the church is the training ground, but you really put all that to test when you go out into the world and you actually do what you're supposed to do. So,
absolutely.
I have another Roxy story, you guys. You want to hear it? So, I started my business. So after going and setting up in front of Roxy's shop, I actually started my business a year later. I was encouraged and motivated and inspired. I saw her store, and I was just like, she told me I could do it. I knew I could do it. And so I had a lot of stuff, as you guys know, and I started with my yard sales. I started with flea markets, and then I went to the antique store, and I finally made my way here. Well, Roxy, this is she likes to come to Pickens sometimes in different locations, and she's very unique, as you guys know. And so she goes to different places, find different things. So, anyways, she came down to visit my shop, and she called me. She said, "Frederica, I got something for you." And so I go, and I'm thinking she got a bag or maybe, something. No, guys, no. Roxy had a whole van full of stuff. And I am not trying to embarrass her, but let me tell you guys, I am just so grateful. And Roxy is very, very modest. She's doing things. I actually had in my notes, Roxy, that you are a leader, but you're not the traditional type of leader, because a lot of people don't know what you're doing. And guys, when the day that I sat out there in front of her shop, and I know this is supposed to be an interview, Roxy, but I just have to let people know how great and how awesome. And we're going to get into the interview part, and we're going to have some more discussion. But I just got to let you guys know just how great and awesome, because I'm not the only one. As I sat there that day, everybody that walked in, it was men, it was women. She was encouraging them. So our topics today and in 2 weeks are going to be grinding. We're going to be talking about grinding. We're going to be talking about hustlenomics. And you guys are going to kind of see what she does, why she does it, and how she does it. So we're going to go, I believe, into a commercial break here in a few minutes. And we want to thank our sponsor, Tags & Co., which is Touched by an Angel Gift Shopping Consignments. Is located at 225 Punkintown Highway down here in Pickens, South Carolina. And you can always come to my shop where you can always find a unique gift. And again, got a little bit of encouragement from our friend Roxy here. So thank you, Roxy. And back to our acronym for today. So our acronym today, Roxy, is GRIND. For those of you who have watched the podcast before, I am the acoustic queen, which is an acronym. So I like to take words and I like to make other words from them. So our word today is grind, because one thing about Roxy, you guys, not only does she know hustlenomics, but she knows how to grind. And we're gonna break that word down, and we're gonna do a little bit of talking about it. So Roxy, like I said, you are a mother, you are a wife, and I'm gonna ask you a little bit before we go into our word to tell me about. I've noticed that you and your family collaborates a lot. And I love that about y'all.
We do.
Tell me how and why.
My husband sells oils next to me. He did that before I even met him. He had his own business, it's Team Exotic. So when I met him, he was doing that at a table separate from mine at the flea market. And my daughter, Marquita, was cutting up shirts and bleaching shirts and designing clothes. She went to college for that in Atlanta. And my youngest daughter, Somalia, was actually CNA, working at a nursing facility, but she sews and she does all types of clothes. So we thought of her name, which is Molly So-and-so, and Marquita, which is the oldest one that cuts up shirts, is So Major. So we were all at the flea market, and as the years passed, we all just gravitated toward each other. So her shop is across from mine, and my husband's shop is next to mine. So when you come in my shop, I don't sell oils, but I might have the lamps. So if you buy the lamps, you're gonna have to get your oils. You have to go next door.
Love it. I love
it. If I sell T-shirts, but most of the time I buy them from my daughters. Like my youngest daughter made this T-shirt, but it says Rocking Her Jewelry. So I'll buy my shirts from her, but sell them in my shop as Rocking Her Jewelry. If you want them cut up or designed, you can go across to my daughter's shop, and it's in perfect harmony. We all work together, and that's at home
and you can
and
feel
at work.
It, though. You can feel it. You can see it. That's again one of the things I love about Roxy, and it just shows. It just shows. So again, our word is grind. So the G I have is for getting that money, but I want to just make a little disclaimer about that. we're not just getting that money any kind of way. So for me, when I was looking up the word grind, a lot of times you see words and they seem derogatory or something, but not necessarily. And so that's what we're going to show. We're going to show you the positive side of grinding, because there are a lot of people out there like myself, like Roxy, who have worked really hard to accomplish these goals, and we're still working really hard. We were talking off camera, Roxy, and you were talking about how grind to you. Tell us what grind to you is, because it's a little different from what most people think about when they think about grinding.
Tell us what you think about grinding first.
Well, I think it is figuring out how to get what you need when you really don't have a lot. And I got a story for you. My mama, back in the day, I would go in the kitchen, I would think to myself, man, it ain't nothing in this kitchen, in these cabinets. My mom would make a full 5-course meal dinner. To me, that's grinding. You know, when you can throw something together from nothing or very little. So what's your definition of grinding, Roxy?
That's a good example of it, because my grandmother used to do the same thing. But my definition of grinding is getting up in the morning before anybody else gets up. And that's 4 and 5 and 6 a.m., which I have done since I was a child. I lived with my grandmother for many years, so she got up really early to cut wood in the yard because we had a fireplace, or to clean her beans, or to get dinner started. And I learned the best time is to get up before anybody else is, just start your day. So I think it's, my definition of it is getting up before anybody gets up, and going to bed after everybody has gone to bed. And that's just getting everything you need done. If you have a business, you're going to have to price some things, get some things together, make some things like I do. I make sugar scrubs, I make soaps, I make some of my own oils. We design labels, so we have to label stuff. It's just so much to do. So if you get up early and you do them, just like you're working a job, say you work a job 12 hours and you got to go punch the clock. If you do that in your own business and you conduct your own business like you would with someone else, you'll get so much more done. So you're gonna have to start when everybody else is still sleeping and thinking about getting up. You're gonna have to already have your stuff together, and you're gonna have to go to bed late. That's grinding the gears.
Yeah, you said sometimes you get your best ideas late at night or early in the morning. So that's also another reason to get up early and to stay up late, right?
Absolutely. God will give you some of your best ideas. He'll just give them to you like gifts. Some people think gifts or money, or maybe, things or what have you, but it's a lot of times it's business ideas.
It's thoughts and creativity.
So many of us have ideas in our heads and in our bodies. We're gonna die with them. So if you sit quiet within yourself and pray, and when everyone's asleep and everything's quiet, he's going to give you a lot of ideas. And that'll take you farther than any gift that anybody can give you.
Oh, wow. Not nuggets, like you said, jewels. Y'all, I hope y'all are writing this stuff down. If you're liking these jewels that Roxy's dropping, then put a message in the comment. And by the way, that's another thing. You have some beautiful stones and a whole lot of other stuff. I'm gonna let you just share with people a little bit about some of the items that you actually carry in your store. I know you do the waistbands, and
yes.
So tell them a little bit about some of the items speaking of jewels, some of the things that you carry, Roxy.
I carry a lot of crystals. A lot of spiritual, holistic herbs and sugar scrubs and oils for your hair, for hair growth, or t-shirts, waist beads, purses, vintage clothes. I have everything that I love. I just threw it in one place and just hope that someone else would love it as well and come just shop with me. And I chose the things that I love is because I know about it. I can talk with you about it. I can describe it to you. Some things that people sell, I went to a skateboard shop one time years ago. I needed a replacement wheel on a skateboard that I had purchased from a yard sale. And he was a younger kid, and he didn't know anything about what I was talking about. And he could have made a lot of money that day because there was a couple people behind me needing some help. He just didn't know, and no one was in the shop with him at that time that knew. So choosing what you like and what you know about is going to help you. And that's what I do. I sell all the things that I love everything. My youngest daughter paints on army jackets that I find vintage.
Oh, wow.
I paint on sometimes if I have a few minutes or if I have some time. But I sell so much stuff. And
so an assortment, all kind of anything you need, pretty much, you guys. If you need something for your home, if you need something for your body, if you need something, clothes, hats, earrings, jewelry, she got it.
I do.
So you guys have to check out. You have to check out. So the R in grind, I don't think we did the R yet, right? Okay, we didn't do the R yet. So the R in grind for me is results. And we've talked a little bit about those results. You know, the long nights, the early mornings. You're going to get the results that you want. It may not come immediately. And I'm going to have you talk a little bit about that, Roxy, because like you stated, you have been doing this for how many years again?
Oh, maybe over 30.
Yes. And what I want to say to that is a lot of times people look at somebody like yourself or other people who are successful as well, and they say to themselves, man, I want what she got. Do you really? Do you know what she had to go through? So I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell them a little bit about any obstacles that you had to overcome and the hard work that it took you to get to the place that you're at. So share a little bit with us, please, Roxy.
I started when I was 19. I had an African store with a lady called Cynthia. Her name was Cynthia Watkins, invited me, and I was young. It was an African store, like a mini mall down on Main Street, downtown Greenville. And that was my beginning, and she helped me like I helped you, and that's how it all started. So I started when I was 19 and just never gave up, and it was all kind of obstacles in between. Children, I went to jail a couple times. I actually went to prison before, so I did a couple things that I'm not proud of, but I'm here now. But those are the obstacles that got in the way of things that I wanted. I couldn't get grants and things that other people were opening businesses with because I had a record. Yes. So going to the flea market was my best option, and I made a business from the flea market, but it took so many years, and it was so many. It was
grinding, yes.
Working at Target
hard, yes.
From 4 a.m. I worked at Target the mid shift because they wouldn't hire me on the day shift, but they would hire me on the mid shift because of my charges. So the overnight shift, and then I worked for myself in the daytime. So that's 18 to 20 hours for years. And my kids didn't really understand it because they were smaller. They knew I worked at Target. Mm-hmm. I used to bring them toys and stuff home, and then they knew we would go to the flea market on the weekend, but they don't really understand it now until they got into their own business or what have you. So
so the reason we kind of had that discussion is because I want you guys to realize that if you want it, you can achieve it, but it might not happen overnight. Believe me, I've only been doing this 1 year, and I probably thought several times about, why am I doing this? You know, it's hard work. It's a lot of work. Roxy came into my shop today. She came into Tammy's shop today, and she was just like, you know, it looks great, but a lot of people think this is easy. It's not easy. So you guys, if you want it, and not just to shop, it could be writing a book, it could be doing hair, it could be cooking, culinary, whatever you want. By the way, I just want to throw a shout out there to my cousin while I'm thinking about culinary. Lil Joe, I love you. Great job. I am so proud of you. So proud. Not anyway, but so proud of you. So the next word, the letter is I. So for me in grind, the I is income. The money will come. Put your mouth where your heart is, and the money will come. Like Roxy said earlier, when you give to other people, like she gave to me, someone gave to her, that's what we have to do. When we help someone else. What was that saying you said, Roxy, about when you put your hand out? Like a lot of people try to.
Yeah, you have to open your hand to give out, to receive anything. So, you know, it's just like opening your hand to give somebody something, and God can put something in your hand. The selfish people, I never see them get far. I just never do. Yeah. And I've been helping people and giving people my whole life, and I never have to really struggle. I go through hard times just like anybody else, but to struggle with anything is someone always there to help me or lend me a helping hand. And I think that's from me helping people, and I never hesitate. And the most of the time that I do help people, most all the time that I help people, I'm always usually going through something myself. It's always rent due, or, you know, some type of struggle you have with your car, or, you know, someone's needing something, or something's going on with your house. It's always something. But I never hesitate to reach out and help my friends or help people that need it, because you just never know. And they would never know. They never know what I'm going through. It could be almost the end of the world.
But she does.
They never
you
know.
do it, Roxy, with a smile
They
on
never know.
and a kind heart. Every time I've ever been around you, whether you saw me watching or not, I heard you helping somebody, or just even saying a kind word. Just saying a kind word, and that's kind of where the title came from. Before for today is the smoke screen. The smoke screen means the fake and the phony. It means the reason I chose the smoke screen is because Roxy is so real, and I wanna. That's what I want to do, and I'm encouraging you guys too, just to be real, just to be yourselves, just to continue to give, continue to be compassionate, and to help other people. So the helping other people part, along with that, the end in the word grind is network. So you are awesome at it, Roxy. I've watched you, and it's actually one of my gifts too. I love talking to people. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people, and it takes you a long way. Let's talk a little bit about that, Roxy, like in your business, how important networking is in your grind.
It's really important. I see a lot of my friends on Facebook, and I like the network, and people always come to me. They always say that I'm the plug if they need something, like I need some eyelashes, or who does wood floors, or so on, or, you know, whatever. And I would go to their page, and I mean, I have to go down so far to find what they do. And I really like to post what I do, or what I have to sell every day, because every day I wake up, I want someone to know, even if it's a repeat person that's on my Facebook every day, they're my friend. They already know that I sell jewelry. They already know I sell African clothes. But today might be the day that they need it. And they don't want to look all down my page to find what they need. They want to know right then. So I just want to keep it on their mind really fresh. I want to network. I want them to talk about it. I want to invite them in my store when I don't want them to buy anything. I just want to give them a cupcake and a water and just, you know, a pair of earrings, and just love on them and talk to them and thank them for just believing in me. That's that's networking to me. Every day being rocking her jewelry. Every day. Every day rocking her jewelry.
Love it. And it's truth. She's dropping nuggets, you guys. I don't know if you're picking them up, but if you're not, go back, rewind, watch again, because I'm telling you, she has put some information out there that you might not get in a book. She's giving you 30 years of experience, personal experience is what she's giving you, and I absolutely love it. So the D in the word grind is determined. Now, you've heard determination today, so that's why I've chosen that word. Roxy, do you want to add anything to determination? Is there anything else you want to add to the D in grind?
What's your definition of determination?
Determination is never giving up. It's never quitting. It's to keep on trying. It's to keep on trying no matter what. And another thing too that I've thought about since I've started this, my story, Roxy's story, she was at Target. She was at she's done different things. I've done yard sales. I've done flea markets. I've done antique stores. I'm here at the market now. Don't be afraid to try something new. If one thing doesn't work, it does not mean that you're a failure. What that means is that it just gives you an opportunity to go and try something different. So speak a little bit to that, Roxy.
Determination. I'm going to give my own definition. Because the people that know me, everybody's on my Facebook page really knows me. I have almost 5,000 friends, and I bet you I've connected with all 5,000 people. You know, it's a couple of them that I might not, but they all know me, so they all know these stories. I can't fabricate on them, but determination to me is when the jewelry wasn't feeding my children, I had to rent a taxi cab, and that was at $76 a day. I had to pay them to drive the taxi cab and take rides, and I did that for a year so that I could buy a car, so that I could go get the jewelry, so that I could go back to the flea market because my engine blew in my other car. But nobody really knew it. They was just like, Roxanne's in a cab, that's cool, you know. But they didn't know when I turned in the cab and I didn't have the $76 a day, I was walking to Cherrydale, to the Wells Fargo to put some money in so that I could pay a bill, you know. And so that's determination, just never giving up, never putting your problems on people. Oh, I don't have a car, can you give me a ride? I got 2 feet, I can walk. They used to see me walking all the time. You just can't give up. You can't stop. You can't make excuses.
Yes.
Excuses. I say excuses for rich people. I do, because maybe their rich friends will come in and kind of save them if they speak on it or something. But if you come from where I come from, if you're complaining or making excuses, what? They got the same problem, so they're not, they really can't help you. You can maybe sit around and laugh about it, but that's my determination. That's
absolutely love it. So, you guys, again, the word of today was grind. Roxy just broke it down. Okay, so we want to thank you guys for joining us today, and we want to remind you to join us in 2 weeks to watch another episode. Roxy will be back on the show. We'll be talking about hustlenomics. And so until next time, be grounded, be blessed, and be you. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Win Women in Business.